You see China, which is not yielding an inch, and China, which is actually aspiring to be the world number one power. On the western side, you have Pakistan, which is sort of where the Field Marshal Asim Munir is openly saying that, Pakistan will not let go of Kashmir. So under the circumstances, the only thing that India can do is be prepared for what is evolving in the future, have the best of platforms for the Indian armed forces, and also plug in the gaps which were revealed during post-Operation Sindoor. You would be looking at, so let's start, Apache helicopters for Indian Army. You are looking at more M777 lightweight howitzer for the Indian Army. You are looking for long-range ballistic missiles for the Indian Army, because what Operation Sindoor has shown you is that today only standoff weapons count. Now we are looking at a missile which is called RVVBD. Now this is a Russian missile which has a range of 200 kilometers. We are looking at that missile because if that is there, then we can take care of whatever is being thrown at us from either the west or the north.
Hello and welcome. You're joining us on Point Blank. On today's segment, we'll be discussing Apache helicopters at the Hindon Air Base, Operation Sindoor, river activity that could send ripples across Asia, and more. Stay tuned as we cut through the fog of headlines, separate speculation from strategy, and decode what it all means for the region. In fact, joining us to bring us that in-depth analysis is the executive editor of Hindustan Times, Mr. Shishir Gupta. Sir, namaskar. So, Apache helicopters landing at the Hindon Air Base. There are rumors, there's speculation that India is buying more weapons, ammunitions, post-Operation Sindoor. What is the reality here? And is it true that we're buying fifth-generation jets?
Aisha, actually, you have to look at a big picture before we start to get into the specifics of it. If you look at the big picture right now of Asia, particularly the evolving security scenario in the region, you will see that China is not yielding an inch to India. Okay, whether it is supplying weapons to Pakistan, whether it is supplying weapons to Bangladesh, whether sort of, making intrusions into expansion in a way, into expanding in a way in Nepal and in the Indian Ocean region. So you see China, which is not yielding an inch, and China, which is actually aspiring to be the world number one power. Now, on the western side, you have Pakistan, which is sort of where the Field Marshal Asim Munir is openly saying that, Pakistan will not let go of Kashmir. And he has reiterated that even after the Operation Sindoor happened. Right. So, and then what you see, the security scenario is such that India has no options but to be prepared for the worst that can happen. Now, India is now the number 5th economy in the world. It's actually, some say it's a number 4, but let's say it's a number 5th economy in the world. Now, for a country which is a number 5th economy, it cannot afford to, make plans when it happens. So it has to be prepared for things. Okay. It cannot be looking for endorsements from other powers, whether it is West, Russia, or anybody, when it comes to its safeguarding its own security situation. So under the circumstances, the only thing that India can do is be prepared for what is evolving in the future, have the best of platforms for the Indian armed forces, and also plug in the gaps which were revealed during post-Operation Sindoor. So now coming back to the main thing, Apache attack helicopter for the Indian Army, 3 of them came at the Hindon Air Base. Okay. 3 more are supposed to arrive, and the total thing is 6 helicopters which are going to come in. This is one part of it that is coming in. Then what is happening is a whole lot of other things are also taking place. Acquisitions are taking place. So if one were to look at it, you would be looking at, so let's start. Apache helicopters for Indian Army. You are looking at M777 lightweight howitzer for the Indian Army. You are looking for ballistic missiles, long-range ballistic missiles for the Indian Army. Because what Operation Sindoor has shown you is that today only standoff weapons count. Because considering there is air defense and it's very difficult to penetrate, so you have long-range standoff weapons. So this is what is coming to the Indian Army. Then you have Indian Air Force.
Okay.
Now in the Indian Air Force, what you're looking at is you're looking at long-range missiles. One of the first things that was found was a gap that India did not have long-range air-to-air missiles. Right? So now we are looking at a missile which is called RVVBD.
Okay.
Now this is a Russian missile which has a range of 200 kilometers. We are looking at that missile because if that is there, then we can take care of whatever is being thrown at us from either the west or the north. You are looking at 6 mid-air refuelers for which requests for proposals have already been sent out, in which the Israeli KC-135 tankers are going to be the main ones.
I see.
Which will essentially expand the range of your fighter jets by refueling them in mid-air. Then you have the biggest problems that we faced were the airborne early warning and control systems, which Pakistan has more than India. So now what is happening is you are looking at 6 Embraers, used Embraers being bought for the DRDO to put in its Netra system. You have 6 319 Airbuses which was purchased from the Air India, and these will be hardened by the Airbus, and on which again the DRDO will put its Netra 1A systems. So what you're looking at is, and then you are looking at some 87 medium altitude long range drones, armed drones which are going to be purchased acquired from countries, particularly companies, and these are going to be made in India. And the drones that we already have, the Israeli Heron drones, they'll be upgraded into armed level. So you are looking at a range of things, and then if you're going to do Navy, you are looking at 6 P-8I anti-submarine warfare aircraft. You are looking at next generation destroyers, which are going to be big destroyers of 15,000 tons. You are looking at submarines, conventional submarines, and you are looking at nuclear submarines. So India is getting ready for a scenario where it wants to achieve economic growth, but at the same time, there will be no quarters given when it comes to national security. This is what the big picture of what is happening right now. And this has not been because post-Operation Sindoor. Post-Operation Sindoor, some things have taken place, but this planning has been going on for a long time.
Okay. So speaking about Operation Sindoor, in a few days, on the 28th of this month itself, we're going to be seeing a debate in Parliament. What can we expect from it?
See, the debate in Parliament is going to be, it's a 16-hour debate, I'm told, and in which Defense Minister Rajnath ji will be sort of, answering to the debate. And I'm told that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will intervene in the entire thing.
Okay.
So the debate is going to be very much, it's very clear as to what the debate is going to be, because what the opposition has been trying to talk. See, the opposition will throw all stones at the government saying that, the aircraft fell down, this happened, that happened, so on and so forth. They will try and put the government on the mat, right? Using various articles which have been written by the Western media, French media, American media, British media, so on and so forth. The government on its own will defend all of that and will say more than that. Now, let me tell you very clearly, I think the debate is something which will be politically very good for the Narendra Modi government, because the government has nothing to lose in this. Pakistan was hit round and square in this. They achieved all their military and political objectives. They can handle whatever is going to be thrown, that President Donald Trump played the peacemaker and so on and so forth. The government is on a very good wicket when it comes to Operation Sindoor. So let's be very clear on that. And the Prime Minister will reply to that very emphatically and very forcefully, considering that the Congress party did nothing when the Mumbai massacre happened on 26/11. So the debate is going to be good. They can answer all questions. They have nothing to hide in this. And the political leadership is absolutely clear that the Pakistanis were made to run when this happened.
All right. So you've spoken about the weapons that India is planning to acquire, but let's also jump across to the larger picture of Asia, which you were also referring to earlier. When we talk about China, there are reports that China is going to be building on the Brahmaputra. What are the security ramifications of this?
See, Aisha, I'll take you way back to August 2000. In August 2000, there was accumulation of, water on the upper reaches of Satluj River, which originates from Mansarovar Lake. Now, the Chinese, as that time the satellite images showed, the Chinese actually, there was a blockage on Satluj River, upper reaches. The Chinese blasted the thing without telling us. And there was a huge damage downstream. I mean, the damage at Nathpa Jakri, the damage in Himachal was tremendous. At that time, the damage was estimated to be something like 200 to 300 crore rupees.
Okay.
So what is happening is that China has been building this dam on the Great Bend, which is the Great Bend of Brahmaputra. And the dam was sort of inaugurated by the Prime Minister at Ningchi, which is a place across Arunachal Pradesh.
Okay.
Now, this dam, this is not a run-of-river dam in the sense that you do not store water. This is storage of water, and the water is going to be diverted. Now, this is clearly something which has very serious security ramifications for India.
Okay.
The fact remains is that China is building this dam, and if tomorrow there is accumulation of water on the other side, China will release the water into India because India is downstream. So it has very serious ramifications, and the world is quite selective when it starts to do things, because they start blaming us for abrogation of the Indus Water Treaty.
Exactly.
But they have done nothing to China, who is building the dam upstream, and we do not share hydrological data now post 2020, May 2020. Second thing is that a lot of water is going to be blocked. It's agreed that on the Indian side, Brahmaputra regenerates and 70% of regeneration takes place on Brahmaputra. But blocking the water for its own use and diverting it to other rivers, to make other rivers functions like Yangtze, this is very, very serious stuff. And I think India has been taking up the issue for the past 25 years, but for China, they couldn't care. Seriously. And that is why I think that it needs a global pressure on China to stop this thing, because China is Tibet actually is the place where all the major rivers from Indus, Satluj, Yarlang Tsangpo or Brahmaputra, all the big 6 to 7 big rivers which are in the entire Asia, they generate, including Mekong. So if China is going to block and dam every river in Tibet, then what will happen downstream is something which everybody, including all those who are supporters of China in Southeast Asia, should understand, particularly Cambodia and Vietnam.
The Prime Minister has landed in the Maldives. We know over time that China has been inching closer and closer to the Maldives. What is the significance of this visit?
See, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has just now landed in Maldives, and the visit is of a very great significance, particularly when the president of Maldives, that is Mohammad Moizu, was elected on the Out India campaign in November 2023. So many armchair strategists believed that actually India had been kicked out of Maldives. When Prime Minister Narendra Modi attends the National Day for which he has gone over there, you will realize that India has recovered its position.
Okay.
Not only recovered its position, it has gained many things over there. The Indian Maldives ties are now as close as were before. And what is significant is that the Maldives government is not allowing the Chinese surveillance vessels, ballistic missile trackers in its own areas. This is very significant because what has actually happened is a turnaround on part of Maldives. Now, why the turnaround has happened is because India has gone all out to support Maldives. India has given nothing less than $1.3 billion to Maldives, right? And without any conditions. This does not happen when you deal with China because everything is based on what you give in return. So this visit is going to be very important because you will see how nothing has changed between two neighbors, how they are still close. And this was very clear and very evident when President Mohammad Muizzu, his defense minister, his finance minister were all there to receive Prime Minister Narendra Modi when he landed up in Malé today.
In connection with this then, is it possible that we're going to be witnessing more turbulence when we talk about the Asia-Pacific region?
The Asia-Pacific region, there will be definitely turbulence because China has not given up on Taiwan.
Okay.
According to the American Pacific Command, or what is called the Indo-Pacific Command, their commanders believe that China is going to pull the trigger on Taiwan somewhere in 2027, which is just 2 years. Yeah. So if that happens, there is going to be huge turbulence on that, right? The other thing is that the Chinese Navy is expanding in a very big way.
Okay.
And it is only a matter of time when you will see more Chinese warships in the Indian Ocean region. You will see Chinese giving submarines, that is the Yuan-class submarines, to Pakistan. You will see Chinese giving frigates to Pakistan. You will see a lot of turbulence in the Indo-Pacific. And it is for Quad to wake up. Rather than be a talk shop, it is better for certain deliveries to happen.
Okay.
Because it is not India which is holding Quad. It is countries like Japan which still have to shed off its Pacific image. It is countries like Australia which have to think on which side they are on.
For providing us with all of that insight. We'll continue to track the developments of what's taking place, not just in the Asia-Pacific, but also in Parliament as well. But with that, it's a wrap. Do stay tuned to Hindustan Times for more.